Good late evening on this muggy, low 80s still, uncomfortable, humid, 70 dew point with scattered showers and thunderstorms that have primarily dodged the greater Bloomington metropolitan area in central Illinois. Just after a somewhat cloudy sunset, but calm nonetheless. And it will be becoming increasingly dark as this evening wears on, but after midnight we'll be getting increasingly lighter by the minute, right? So it's positive. This is a quick coin rundown, 5 minutes or less total. Because I'm about to go to bed. I gotta get up early for work tomorrow at Rivian. Check out my morning update, my morning radio show. We go over Bitcoin, real life inflation, and the state of the crypto as I see it at the moment. It's a really good show. It's an extended one. Highly recommend that you watch it. Now, wow. Bitcoin real quick. It had a pump, but it hit overhead resistance. You see that? Yeah, that little pump. It's hitting overhead resistance. Crashing volume, right? Bearish. 3 hour time frame. Bearish. I think you're coming down to this target that I drew out for you the other day fairly soon, maybe days to weeks. I think you're going to end up trading back down there in Bitcoin. You have a down sloping 200, a sideways and down sloping 100, and a down and sideways sloping 50. So you can in theory get trapped like this in the moving average, and then it's going to start forcing you down, right? Something like this. Pump up to the overhead 100, get knocked down to the underneath 50, pump up, hold the overhead or underneath now 100 as support, bounce up to the overhead 200, get rejected, bounced out in the overhead underneath 50, hold support for a minute, then break it and come back down to the underneath 50, then come back up to the overhead 100 and get rejected, and then you start dancing down, and then you end up into this target. So that's possible. The next over the weekend up here, right? That's possible for the weekend, but I think you're coming down here sooner rather than later, as you guys already know. We're in a huge downtrend, and you see them. All the moving averages are crashing down. Our track says that's underneath should be falling. I think we're coming down to 32,752. It's going to be very hard to get much higher than the 100-day moving average of 35,000. It's going to be very tough or the 200-day, 37,000. It's going to be very tough to push past that overhead 200 at 36. I think you're coming back to 32 in Bitcoin. Dogecoin, another one. We drew this out for you, and I think this is where you're at the next couple of days, or at least through the weekend, Monday morning, and Dogecoin could bounce, like we drew for you yesterday. In that orange, that's where I think you're at. You got major overhead. The price actions move down. Overhead resistance at 35 cents. You got major underneath short-term support at 29. So I think you're going to keep dancing in there as this formation's coming to an end. And I think in Dogecoin, you're coming down to 21 cents before you do anything crazy like retest 45, right? Remember, we called that out for you last Sunday about the pump, and then that it was coming back down here, and then eventually down there. We're not changing the forecast now that we made back here on the 18th of May. Why do we change it now when it's gone beautifully and we've hit it 100%? You're going to dance, and then I think you're coming down to 21 cents in Dogecoin, my company building Dogecoins, everyone's favorite Dogecoin, right? And then XRP, we're just going to do the big main ones because all this shit applies. You see this one's in the same formation as Dogecoin. We gave you the possible targets earlier. We said we could put a watch out for this area, right? And we said you could use track 1 to high track. You could do that. Or the low track, you just can't break up on it. Or you just crash, right? Which is always the option. I'm trying to keep you prepared in case you see a little bump up. So that still looks good. And XRP, you got major overhead resistance right up there. at 97 cents. So it'd be very hard, and that's exactly where the 200-day moving average in green is. It's right on it. It'd be very hard to break up above that in any meaningful way, even if you straight pop from where you're at. I think these tracks are beautiful, and I think we're coming down to 75 cents in the next few days to a week. But you could be doing this tonight and this weekend and then go there, or Saturday night and Sunday, right? But that's why I put this out for you yesterday, and then I fine-tuned it today for you to give you an outside higher option, even though I think our track is running beautifully. So that's what I think you got going on here in XRP. Beautiful forecast, beautiful call by Vincenzo, right? Moving along, the Litecoin. Same thing, you're in the same pattern. I think you're going to be trading in this range. The rest of this weekend, the 200-day is going to be up there. The 100-day is going to act as a huge barrier. And again, all these moving averages are moving down. So when you pump, it's going to get immediately sold off. And Litecoin, and I think Litecoin, that's major overhead resistance at 168 to 173. And then I think you're coming way down here. Let's move this down. I think you're coming way down now to $60 to $80 in the next few weeks. But you're going to have to trade there. So this is what you're going to do the rest of this weekend. And then you have to break this pattern by the 16th. And that's when I think you're going to have a massive pump down. But I'll keep you updated. But these two, really, we only need the one up here. I'll get rid of this. That's what I think you're going to do the rest of this weekend, right? And Litecoin, then you're going to have to make a huge pump. I don't see you breaking up north higher than that 170. I'll keep you updated, though. And then the last one, DigiBytes right there. We gave you this earlier. We're in a falling channel, but there's no volume. It's very bearish. This one right here in the yellow was just the outside 3 in 10 chance of the high side. But if you zoom in to DigiByte, right, you got all these moving averages, even in the hour time frame, that would have to fight through to get up there. So if you pop in DigiByte, if you don't just go straight down, because we're going much lower, you could pop and then get tangled into that 50 and then 100-day, and then you're going to force down. You got major overhead resistance. I would watch this area right here really close. I'm putting another watch out for DigiByte right there. Major watch. If you break that lower resistance, if you come down and start testing this 5 cent level and you don't hold it and you break down, you're going way down, because I do think you're going way down there eventually in the next few months. But this is a major watch too for here, DigiByte. If you break, come on. If you break this down sloping critical resistance or support at 5 cents, you got major trouble. You have a 3 in 10 chance of coming up here really quick. But you look at all these moving averages you got in the way. You got the 200, the 100, and the 50. That's going to be major. Look at every time you run into these now. Heavy, you get sold off immediately, right? Hit it down, hit it down, hit it down, right? Overshoot, quick down, right? But every time, down, 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 down. Because these moving averages are too strong right now. I think you're going to trade down to 4 or 5 cents in the next few days. Like, subscribe, and share. Peace and love, peace and love, peace and love.
You say you wanna buy the gold to silver bullion, do you? Fail, but every time I put a title out there, appropriately saying about where to buy such gold to silver bullion, don't be the right side route, you know? You never watch it, you're gonna be face heisted and tasted, because you only buy crypto and not gold.